First, we venture into the wilderness in search of the elusive blackberry. Hidden amongst thorny bushes, these small fruits are a treasure worth the hunt. Their deep purple hue hints at the rich, tart flavor they possess, an ideal base for our first recipe. In the kitchen, the transformation begins. Grab 2 cups of fresh blackberries, wash them thoroughly, and toss them with a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and the juice squeezed from half a lemon. This mixture is then poured into a 9x9 baking dish. Now onto the crumbled dough. Combine 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon salt. Cut in 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. Stir in a 1/3 cup of milk until the dough comes together. Break up the dough and sprinkle it over the blackberry mixture. The dish is then baked in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes or until the topping is golden brown. The result, a warm, bubbling blackberry cobbler with a crisp top and juicy filling. When it comes to tasting, the experience is nothing short of magical. The cobbler, served with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, brings a symphony of flavors and textures. The tartness of the berries, the sweetness of the crust, the creaminess of the ice cream. It's a celebration of summer in every bite. Next, we shift our focus to the eternally beloved strawberry. These brilliant red fruits are typically found in fields and meadows, their sweet scent saturating the atmosphere. The strawberries are harvested at their peak, securing a jam that's overflowing with savor. Now let's delve into the actual recipe of this delightful strawberry jam. First, gather about 3 pounds of ripe strawberries. After washing and draining them well, hull them and crush them roughly. Take mashed strawberries to the kitchen and in a large pan, combine them with 2 cups of sugar and 4 tablespoons of pectin. The proportions may vary depending on your personal preference, sweetness and thickness. Stir everything together until the sugar dissolves. From here, the mixture receives heat. It is brought to a lively boil, then reduced to a simmer. Constantly stir it for about 20-30 minutes or until it thickens to a jelly-like consistency. Once your jam has reached the desired consistency, remove it from heat and allow it to cool for a few minutes. After that, pour your homemade strawberry jam into sterilized jars, seal them and store them in a cool, dark place. The final outcome is a jar of homely strawberry jam. It's as inviting as its flavor. The act of consuming this jam is a dip into pure nostalgia. Spread on a slice of warm, buttered bread, its callback to simpler periods, to childhood breakfasts and summer afternoons. Each mouthful is a blast of sweetness, a tribute to the splendor of nature's bounty. Our journey concludes with the humble blueberry. These tiny fruits, often found in woodlands and fields, pack a punch when it comes to flavor. The blueberries are gathered with care, destined to become the star of our final recipe. Now let's move to the actual recipe. For a classic blueberry pie, you'll need 4 cups of fresh blueberries, 1 cup of white sugar, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, a pinch of ground cinnamon, 1 recipe for a 9-inch double crust pie. In the kitchen, begin by preheating your oven to 425 degrees. Mix blueberries, sugar, cornstarch, lemon juice, and cinnamon together in a bowl until fruit is coated. Then spoon this mixture into a pie crust. Top the pie with the remaining crust, trim the edges and crimp to seal. Cut slits in the top crust to allow steam to escape. Bake in the preheated oven for 50 minutes or until the filling is bubbling and the crust is golden brown. Allow it to cool before serving. The result, a classic blueberry pie, its aroma filling the kitchen. Tasting this pie is the perfect conclusion to our journey. The blueberries, now soft and sweet, are encased in a flaky crust, creating a dessert that's both comforting and indulgent. Each bite is a reminder of the adventure, of the beauty of nature, and of the joy of creating something from scratch. Before we delve into the heart of our blueberry pie, let's take a brief detour to appreciate the art of pie crust making. This seemingly simple base is an unsung hero, providing the perfect flaky companion to our fillings. Begin by combining 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of sugar, and a pinch of salt in a large bowl. The sugar is optional, but it adds a touch of sweetness that complements the tart berries. Next, cut in a cup of cold butter until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. This is the secret to a flaky crust. Those bits of butter melt during baking, creating pockets of steam that lift the dough. Now, add ice water, a tablespoon at a time, until the dough just comes together. Be careful not to overwork it, or your crust will be tough instead of tender. Once your dough has formed, wrap it in plastic and chill it for at least an hour. This allows the gluten strands to relax, ensuring a tender crust. After the dough has chilled, roll it out on a lightly floured surface, turning it a quarter turn after each roll to maintain a circular shape. The dough should be about an 8-inch thick and 1 inch larger than your pie dish. Carefully transfer the dough to your dish, pressing it gently into the corners. Trim any excess dough, leaving a 1/2 inch overhang. Fold this overhang under itself and crimp the edges to seal. With our crust prepared, we're now ready to fill it with our delicious blueberry. Remember, a great pie is as much about the crust as it is about the filling. So take your time, enjoy the process, and get ready to create a pie that's truly a feast for the senses. And so our journey ventures forth, focusing on the humble blueberry. From foraging to crafting to savoring, we continue to explore the many delights of wild berries, be it the rustic blackberry cobbler, the sweet strawberry jam, or now the classic blueberry pie. Each recipe tells a story of nature, of simplicity, and of the joy of creating and sharing. Our adventure continues, motivating us to stay curious, stay adventurous, and most importantly, stay hungry.